Today on Attack of the Show, coming up, we've got an entire hour of Nintendo Wii launch coverage, so buckle up and secure your wristbands. We always get by with a little help from our friends. We've got tips, tricks, and techniques on how to slash that Wiimote with precision. And from Madden to Zelda, we're showing off all launch titles and the hardware that makes them flow. All this and more on a live and Wii-filled Attack of the Show, starting right now.
What's going on here? Think upon this.
Yeah, welcome to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. It's Monday, November 20th. My name is Kevin Pereira.
Yeah, and I'm Blair Butler. The lovely Olivia Munn is out on assignment. So we are coming to you live from the G4 studios in Los Angeles, and today is our 1-hour Wii special.
Yes, the revolution has begun, my friends. Nintendo released their next-gen console yesterday, another midnight launch, which was ridiculous. And we're going to fill you in on everything that went down with said launch.
Yes. And once we're done, stick around for brand new episodes of X-Play and Cheat, where they'll break down all the launch titles. You'll find out what games to buy and get all the info on how to beat them.
Now, the last player in the console wars has officially entered the ring. Nintendo's chosen to really gamble on gameplay over graphics, and we're going to see if they've succeeded.
Yes, strap in, gamers. The Wii has launched. Yes, looked like an archived episode of Buck Rogers. That was awesome.
Could see little strings holding the console, actually.
Now, the site of the official launch was in New York City at the Times Square Toys R Us, and Reggie Fils-Aimé was there to sell the first systems to diehard fans who camped out for days.
They know you don't have to punch the TV.
And they wore ties. They're like crazed businessmen.
Drunk New Yorkers. Not to be outdone by Sony, Nintendo threw their own party for the cool kids. Of course, we were there to cover it. They had music, dancing, celebrities, because celebs love the games.
They do.
Pac-Man and Grand Theft Auto normally, but nevertheless. We're going to have more on that later. All in all, over 600,000 units were sold in the United States. And compared to really like a 360 or a PlayStation 3 launch, this thing was like a huge smashing success.
Those are huge initial sales. And, you know, thankfully, no one was shot or stabbed or beaten like the PS3 line.
There's excitement.
Yeah, everyone actually seemed to be in a really good mood about the Wii.
I actually went to the Wii event here in Los Angeles at the EB Games in the Universal City Walk.
Oh, yeah?
They had about 600 consoles in stock, but apparently over 1,000 people in line. It was ridiculous. The thing snaked all the way out to the parking lot. It took minutes to walk.
So were there still some gamers left out in the cold that didn't get their little Wii, their hands on the Wii?
Yeah, some gamers, wee little tear. But it wasn't like a PlayStation 3 line, and that's what was so weird, is that everybody was civil. I hate to say it, some people were actually nice.
That's freakish.
Yeah, and everybody's like playing DS. There was some, Mario Kart going on. People were picto-chatting. I would start with the testy satchel, and someone else would add the meat to the chicken.
They'd put the dangle on there.
It was a community effort to draw the best possible wang in the picto-chat rooms. A heartwarming moment, really. In fact, someone on our staff even found like a mom and her kids that were at the way back of the line. Kids started to cry. Mom didn't know what to do. Sold the Wii face value, made no profit at all. As just a kind gesture.
Oh.
Yeah, to try and make up good karma for years of methamphetamine abuse.
And an angel got its wings.
Angel got its wings. Very heartwarming story. An actual G4 employee did that.
Yeah.
Touching.
Hard to believe. Now, I also heard that you were doing a little entertaining of your own in the line, Kevin. Is this true? I heard there. Oh, my God.
All right. Yeah, thank you, by the way.
Is that a man?
All right. Yes, it is. He didn't want to drop his pants either because he was wearing tighty-whities, but...
I am scarred for
I got trashed. And I'm not talking, not like, oh, a glass of red wine and I'm feeling pretty good kind of trash. Like, once I found out my Wii Media Pass was good for free drinks, I was a poor ambassador of gaming for G4. I was looking at my watch and I said, okay, it's 10 o'clock. We got 2 hours until they start selling the things. It's going to take another 3 hours to get up there. Let's just do shots of Double Jack.
And then a man's pants fell off.
I goaded him into it and then gave him a cup check before I left. So I hope you enjoy that. Sell them undies on eBay.
That is much worse than the dangle on the DS.
Well, when I got home, this is what I found. Look at that. That's my booty.
Oh, no.
I did good.
You got so smashed you bought Red Steel.
That's the problem, is that most alcoholics wake up the next day with like, oh, who or what did I sleep with? Was it at least human? I woke up with Red Steel and a hangover, and I was so because there's no cure for red steel.
With the saddest game and the make my sword flail weekly.
We're going to actually discuss the sordid mess that is red steel in Game Break later on, but I will be taking mine back to the store.
Nice.
That was the one rough spot. I don't remember buying it, which is the weirdest thing.
That's what happens in blackouts. You do things you regret forever.
The EB Games guys were gentle, though. Thanks, guys. All right, now, if you're one of the lucky few that you have gotten your Wii, you've already experienced that Christmas-like joy, that, cracking open the box and getting all N64 kit on it, getting all giddy.
Getting giddy. But if you weren't lucky enough to get your hands on one, we're going to show you what's inside that magic Wii box, the Bricko Wii.
There it is. Brand new, unopened Wii right here. Actually, this one belongs to Kristen Holt. So I promised I would take good care of it. I started by slamming it on the table, but let's be very gentle.
Okay, let's get down to business, and I will try not to break anything.
All right. So this bad boy comes out. It's actually 2 different trays. You took tray number 2. We must have had it upside down.
Tray numero
But there's 1 and a 2, and Adam managed to drop tray number 2 on his foot, so I'm going to ask him about that later on. But, here it is.
Breakage.
You get it out. You got the console. So kind of heavy for being such a small, tight package, but...
It's like the monolith from 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Show them the ports, Blair. Go ahead.
Show them the ports.
Pop the hood. Pop the hood on that thing.
Pop in the hood. Oh.
Show them the ports. We got some.
You're asking a total Luddite to try.
There's 2 flaps there. One for your game cubes, another for your memory cards.
It's like asking a Mensa reject to do a
Assemble the puzzle pieces. Got the nunchuck, got the sensor bar, and this is going to be the hardest. I'm trying to bring this console home for Thanksgiving. This is going to be the hardest part, is this tiny little infrared sensor bar right here. Once you get this bad boy unwrapped, slap it on top of or below your TV, you're good to go. It's the Nintendo Wii.
So there you have it, the Wii in all its glory.
Oh, actually, we're not done, because on Friday, I don't know if we showed up the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
And Olivia didn't know about the tradition, but I told her about the ceremony that's supposed to take place, and here's what happened. She got passionate. All right, and now, Miss Munn, it's time for the ceremonial tongue bathing of the next generation console.
Go.
Oh, you're going to throw it back to me? Yeah.
I like it.
You think they're going for a lot on eBay? Wait till you get this one out there. So, I mean, I think it's time to pass the torch. I think everybody would agree as well. If we could, what do you want? You want to take the SD card slot? The sync button?
If I do this, it will wind up on YouTube for the rest of my life.
As it should. And it's going to end up in Kristen Holt's Entertainment Center. So why not personalize it? Get a little Butler saliva right there. Come on.
Kristen, I'm very, very sorry.
Yes. Take it slow. Take it slow. I don't think that was a good angle. We didn't see tongue console contact from that angle. Let's try, let's get some GameCube ports here. Just a nice side angle for the kids at home. They really...
Kristen's ports are going to be...
I'm not going to... You're going to short it out.
I'm not going to lick Kristen's ports on TV.
All right.
That didn't sound right.
It didn't sound... You can't talk about this console without it sounding terrible, and not just licking ports. But
Kevin, go play with
what are you doing tonight? I'm going to go play with my Wii. Oh, no, it's cool. My buddies will come over. We're all playing with my Wii. It's like, there's nothing you can do to sound cool.
How many guys can play with a Wii at once?
Yeah,
4.
4.
Amazing. Kevin. Anyway, there you have it. That's what you get when you open up the Wii.
It's a sensual experience, really.
Yeah. Leave it to Kevin to sexualize the unpacking of a console.
I do it for the demo, Blair. I do it for the demo. All right, the launch of Nintendo's Wii, it was a global event. People lined up around the world to be the first to get their hands on what might be the most innovative gaming device ever.
Yes, so our roving investigative reporter, Zach Selwyn, hit the streets of New York to party with the crowds lined up in Times Square.
Yo, we came to the heart of New York City. I'm talking about Times Square to see what kind of magic Nintendo brought to help launch their new video game console, the Wii. And this is what went down. What are you in line for, my man? Nintendo Wii. How long you been here, my man?
A week.
36 hours and counting? 18 hours. 2 hours, 59 seconds. We got it, man!
After this, we're going to head back to our hotel. We'll play the games and see what the system's about.
I have not lived until I have played the Wii. All right, I'm standing here with the man, Nintendo's favorite son, my boy Reggie Fils-Aimé. Made this whole thing happen. You're throwing a party in Times Square. It looks like you took it over out there.
Yeah, we're throwing a big party, and we did take it over. We've had great entertainment out there, keeping the fans happy. We've got something like 2,500 fans lined up around the store, and we have more than 2,500 units here in the store. So every fan who wants a Wii is going to get a Wii. We want to bring gaming back to the masses. What that means is make it accessible, make it fun.
At midnight, the doors opened, and the fans got to get what they've been waiting for.
I'm going to go play my Nintendo Wii, guys. And when you guys get your system, you'll be able to enjoy it just like me.
All right, the wait is finally over for Wii, and I think we can safely say we came, we saw, and we kicked some serious ass.
2,500 units in one store.
And the Reginators.
I think, yeah, and Reggie, which, I mean, like, seriously, Nintendo knows what it's doing when it launches a console.
I think they do. You gotta feel bad for Sony. They tried so hard, and it's just not the love.
But it starts now, the
Right.
next generation of gaming.
Yes.
Because Sony said so, and
Yes.
Nintendo did.
Right now.
Right now, though, it's time for the only news that you need to know. So here's Layla Kaylee and the Next Gen Feed headline.
Ooh.
Thanks, guys. Here's what's coming up in the feed. First, the Nintendo Wii launched, and it went a whole lot smoother than the PS3. Plus, not all gamers who got the console had a good day. And we'll show you what happened at the Wii's LA premiere. It's all coming your way in the feed. But first, back to you guys.
Thanks, Layla. Now, we here at Attack of the Show, we've been overloaded with Wii questions for months now. Everybody
Yes.
at home wants to know about these
They
consoles.
want to know about the Wii.
Yeah, so it's really, everybody's excited. It's time that we really should answer as many questions as we possibly can. So let's get it started.
Absolutely. So first up, here is Matt from North Carolina.
I was able to get a Wii during launch day. It's pretty awesome, but do you guys think developers can keep making enough innovative games to keep this system around for another 3 to 4 years?
Yep.
Yeah, I think they can. You know, it's interesting because the PS3 also launched, but what we've been hearing constantly is that developers, it's very difficult to develop for the PS3, that it's taking them a long time. That's why there were so few launch titles.
You got to do art assets that scale up to 1080p, you have to get cell processing power, yada, yada, so on and so forth.
Yep.
The thing that I like about the Wii is that I liken it to the Nintendo DS. This thing first came out, and at first I said, okay, this is innovative, but it could get gimmicky really quick. All the launch titles,
stylus and
yeah, all the launch titles felt like little tech demos. Look at it a few years later, and now there's amazing experiences on the handheld. So hopefully, in a year, 2 years' time, developers really figure out how to use the Wiimote.
Absolutely, and you know, I think it'll be just as much fun as the DS, which I'm playing Brain Age.
I completely agree. It's going to be amazing. The Wii, it's available now, and for those who braved the long lines this weekend, you're now proud owners. But while Nintendo's launch titles may be more fun than the PlayStation 3's, will the good times last? Is Nintendo's new system more than just a fancy controller? You know how I feel.
Well, I think it's time for our poll question. Is the Wii just a gaming gimmick? Vote at our website, g4tv.com/AOTS, or text your vote to G4TXT. That's 44898 to vote and register for an AOTS Live News Alert.
Now, the Wii has really brought fun and excitement back to gaming. Everybody's taken notice. Oddly enough, PBS's documentary guru, Ken Burns, even he is excited for the Wii.
Wow, well, only he could capture the nostalgic Americana of the hype behind waiting to get a Wii. So here are some letters from the front lines.
A letter from James to his wife, Martha, November 14th, 2006.
Dearest Martha, we have been camped out for days, and I am beginning to fear the worst. Advance reports tell us that the reserves at Burbank Best Buy are running low, and a faulty Blu-ray lens decimated the stores at CompUSA. Game bundles are plentiful, but I see not how. War profiteering, I say. The nerve of such scoundrels. But I will not let my spirits fall. Our cause is just, Martha. Soon I shall be returned to the homestead, whence we shall delight in the silken frame rates of Ridge Racer 7. I remain your humble servant, James.
And we'll have more letters from the front line throughout the show.
Yeah, it's okay to love it. It's okay to love it.
Share the love. Stay with us, or we might just blunderbuss your ass. We'll be right back.
The Wii is here, and so are the new games. But before you get all worked up, take a much-needed game break. And from tackles to touchdowns, we've got the tips to get your team to the Super Bowl.
The world's largest army of superheroes is under your control. Don't blow it. Marvel Ultimate Alliance, rated teen.
Welcome back to the live Attack of the Show Wii special. We're TV's only source for all the stuff you care about and are covering the Wii phenomenon like nobody else. So much so that I'm actually seriously considering having the Wiimote permanently affixed to my hand. Let's go over to Kevin before I get any more crazy ideas.
That's actually a pretty sweet idea, Blair. I think you should consider it. All right, now you lined up, you emptied your wallets for it, you played it nonstop over the weekend. Your Wii isn't going anywhere, so put the nunchuck down, because now it's time for game break. To my left, Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb, who I think you were trying to control me or scramble my brain, or what was that there?
It's too tempting to just kind of...
Look, I'm cutting your hair.
Don't you find yourself wanting to control, like turn on lights and, you know, pet the dog with that across the room?
It's
It makes life so much lazy. It really is.
Yes.
If only it works.
Hey, who got component cables? Show of hands. Anybody?
Sitting on my hands.
This is... Wow. I mean,
I hate to kick off Game Break. I'm very excited about the console. I hate to kick it off on this note, but come on.
But that's all everyone's been talking about. Did you get any component cables?
Yeah. Really, it's like really good crack or something. And I really wanted the component cables, and no one has them.
No one has them.
All right. Well, let's talk about the controller, though. Now we spent some time with it. It's officially out. You like it? You're a fan?
I like how I can buy this, but not the nunchuck at the store. That's fantastic.
What happened here? Plenty of consoles, plenty of Wiimotes. Why the shortage on the nunchuck?
You know what? I think they don't. I mean, they have such a great launch. They have the good console, but they're not thinking, oh my God, this is such a big deal. We need to also bolster the supply of all the peripherals. Right. Because really, when I got home, the first thing I wanted to do was show this off to somebody else, which means I wanted them to play with me. I'm glad I had a second controller set because I was already...
Somebody was smart and got a second controller set.
I impulse bought them all, so even while blackout drunk, I function as a gamer.
So did you get Zelda?
Very happy. I did get Zelda. Good. Twilight Princess. Still haven't cracked it open, so you guys have really got to guide me through this one here.
Well, it's hard because you don't want to actually play it until you get your component cable.
That's why I'm...
Now, but I will say this, because that was a huge hang-up for me. I'm watching it on my high-def screen with the composite cables. It looks much better than, like, seeing it at a lot of stands over the development of the Wii and Twilight Princess. It looked better, so maybe earlier builds just didn't have all the polish.
But now, what about the game? Because fans have been waiting this for ages. There have been some criticisms. I think even GameSpot, they even had
notorious GameSpot review,
But even they had to come back and say, hey, listen, it's not that we hate the game. It's just it's the same gameplay that we've been playing for years.
Right.
Has Nintendo gotten lazy, or is it still amazing?
Okay, how about this? It's every 3-4 years a Zelda game comes out. Yes, it's familiar, but it's really good. I mean, if somehow I was obligated to have to play it, and it was every 6 months, I would feel, okay, you guys have to, punch it up a bit. But
Zelda's not like Madden. It's not a yearly roster update and some new pigs get slaughtered in the field.
It has a very new look, and you can sword slice, and then you can do your spin attack. Oh, they just did it on the screen.
You control the B-roll. Okay.
It's Zelda. If you know Zelda, you love Zelda. You're gonna love.
Let's go on to the one that surprised me the most, though. Of course, you got the horse. But what about rabbits?
I mentioned there was a horse. Okay, raving rabbit.
Morgan, tell me, because this game surprised the hell out of me. I found myself actually laughing at a video game, which I haven't done since some of the old Day of the Tentacle, Sam and Max stuff.
I should start with saying that this is the perfect game if you want your friends to come over and you want to show them what the Wii can do. They're mini games. They're a lot of fun. They're easy to pick up and play. So you can get like 3 people, 4 people coming over and just playing Rayman. And it's ridiculous. You're filling up their diving mask with carrot juice.
This one is so much fun.
The shooter is so much fun.
Adam, what does it say? What does it say when the mini game in a Rayman mini game collection is more intuitive and more satisfying than Red Steel, which was supposed to be about this first-person shooting?
Well, it's also Red Steel concerns me in a couple of ways. This is the one that's supposed to show that, hey, we're still doing the mature thing. This is, I think, the only M-rated game here at the launch. Obviously, in the tone and the feel of it, and it's a shooter. It's not. It's a lot of good ideas that never really mesh together all that well.
I think it is clunky. I'm sorry that you bought it and you can exchange it.
I've taken the streak wrap off, so I'm good.
Well, I think that they bit off more than they could chew. Like, they really wanted to put these ideas into a video game, and maybe in a year we're going to see a really good video game with all of these ideas in it, and they'll have polished it, and it's going to be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
like you're trying to turn doorknobs, and you're like,
Red Steel 1, I'm taking it back, but real quickly, excited for perhaps Red Steel 2. Maybe they can flesh this out and fix it in the sequel.
Hopefully there'll be some knowledge sharing, like the Metroid team, which is also doing a shooter, will say, hey, here, we did a complex shooter. Here are some ways that you can help make it, give it more finesse.
Until then...
Rayman's for adults, too.
Yeah. Yes. Until then, though, plungers.
Until then, plungers.
It's all about
with plungers.
Plunging bunnies. All right, thank you guys for joining us for today's Game Break. Everybody, be sure to stay tuned because coming up after the show, Adam and Morgan, they're right back with an all-new episode of X-Play. They'll be bringing you first reviews of all the Wii launch titles, and Morgan will be controlling Adam with the nunchuck and Wiimote.
Look,
makes him do some...
I'm even dumber now.
Some ridiculous stuff. All right. I wish I had the plunger, Adam. Let's go back to my partner in crime, Blair Butler.
Blair.
Woo!
Blair.
Thanks, Kevin. Most new Wii owners picked up The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on Sunday, so here's the best Wii games to buy that aren't Zelda. It's time to attack this. First up, Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz feels right at home on the Wii thanks to the intuitive controls on the Wiimote. In addition to 100 challenging game levels, there's about 50 mini-games, including monkey bowling and whack-a-mole. And for the first time in any Super Monkey Ball game, you can finally jump. Yes, jump. Just flick your Wiimote upwards. Next, Excite Truck, which is the first Wii game that lets you create your own soundtrack by uploading your favorite MP3s off an SD card. To control your truck, the Wiimote turns into a steering wheel. Tilt the controller left or right to steer, and when you catch air, angle the remote to level out your truck and land on all four wheels at the same time. And you just heard from Adam and Morgan about Rayman Raving Rabbids, and we can't recommend it highly enough. It's a complete departure from your standard Rayman game. This time, Rayman's battling horrible little bunnies in 70 unique mini-games. There's lots of twisted humor and surprises here. And finally, if you're too young to have played some of the classics or just want to replay them, the Wii Virtual Console games are definitely worth buying, especially considering their price. Among our favorites so far, F-Zero, Sonic the Hedgehog, and The Legend of Zelda. The games range from $5 to $10, and unlike the Xbox Live Arcade, Nintendo has chosen not to tinker with the original gameplay. That's today's Attack This. Visit g4tv.com/AOTS for links to all these games. And still ahead, we'll take you to the Wii's Hollywood blue carpet premiere in The Feed. And Cheats Kristen Holt will be coming by to tell you how to stiff-arm the competition and dominate Madden 07 for the Wii. You're watching TV's only source for all the stuff you care about.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show and our hour-long Wii special. We are TV's only source for all the stuff you care about, and we're telling you everything you need to know about the next-gen console that just may change gaming forever. And that's, I'm being serious, by the way. Let's go over to Blair and our very special guest.
Thanks, Kevin. Joining me is G4's cheat strategy expert, Kristen Holt. Welcome, Kristen.
I love that I was introduced as a special guest. That is so awesome. Thank you, Kevin.
Yes, now today we're going to break down the most popular franchise game of all time, Madden, and see how it plays out on the Wii. Now, Kristen, first, I'm going to apologize for licking your Wii, and that was totally Kevin's fault.
It's okay. This is the only day that you're ever allowed to do that. And it better be put back into the box properly. That's all I want to say, okay?
I'll reassemble it with care. But as for Madden, it's this huge franchise, and what makes it a success is that anyone can be an armchair quarterback. Now that we have to get physically involved, is the game going to be good or harder, or what's the deal?
I know, it's going to be a change of pace for some people, but it's not that difficult. Like any game, it takes skill to win, and I've got some tips to keep you from ending up at the bottom of the division.
Madden 07 for the Wii has more moves than Emmett Smith on Dancing with the Stars. That means the controls can get a little tricky. Don't worry, Coach Holt has it all figured out. Let's kick things off with the kickoff. Press the A button to start the kick while pointing the Wii remote down. As your kicker starts his run, quickly swing the controller up. The faster you swing it, the further the kick goes. Tilt the remote left or right while doing this motion to slice the ball in either direction. To signal a fair catch on a kick return, wave the controllers upward.
Won't take a chance trying to return this one.
To hike the ball, swing the Wiimote up during the line of scrimmage. Hold the B button and do the same movement to perform a hard count and trick the defenders. To choose a receiving target, hold the B button and use the plus control pad to select the receiver. To pass the rock, swing the Wiimote forward. Swing it slowly to lob.
They'll go with a play fake. Going deep, looking for something in the end zone.
And quickly to throw a bullet pass. After the throw, press A to select your receiver and lift both controllers upward to catch the pigskin. There are many maneuvers available while in possession of the football. Press the Z button to sprint or hold C to protect the ball. To perform juke moves, swing the nunchuck either left or right. Swing both controllers in the same motion to do a double juke. To execute a spin move, press the A button. Hold the B button to dive or tap it to slide. You can plow through the defenseman by pushing both controllers forward. To break free from tackles, drum both controllers up and down. Finally, there are two important defensive moves to memorize. To swat the ball, swing the Wiimote forward. To deliver a big hit, push both controllers forward while holding down the Z button. Save me a dance in the end zone.
Oh, what a lovely dance. You know, I've never been, I have to admit, a big Madden fan, but that actually looks cool, the idea of using the Wiimote.
It's awesome. You have to check out Madden on the Wii. I think it's so much more fun to play it on the Wii than any other console. You can see more Madden, more Wii tips, and more of me on tonight's episode of Cheat at 8:30.
Sure. All right now, let's go back to our show's very own armchair quarterback, Mr. Kevin Pereira.
Blue 42! Hot!
It would have been better if there was a prop for the prop humor, but that's improv, kids. Thanks, Blair, by the way. All right, we're going to have more Wii coverage ahead on this special edition of Attack of the Show. So special, in fact, that I took the short bus to get here, but you knew that by now, so thanks.
Layla finds out why Hollywood loves the Wii.
Soon we're going to have relations like this.
And you say you want a revolution, but the Wii wants to change the world. You'll only know how the Wii holds up if you're in the loop.
A letter from James to his wife, Martha, November 15th, 2006.
Dearest Martha, they say this war would rend families in twain, and alas, but for a sight today I would have called them false. It is with a heavy heart that I report a spotting of my wayward brother Reginald in a line on the other side of Ventura Boulevard, waiting for the Nintendo Wii.
Who has my Tetris card?
As of late, our camps have begun exchanging playful taunts across the thoroughfare, but soon I know we shall be forced to combat. I know not if I could deal a fatal blow to Reginald, but the Wii, it is Tegay. I mean, Super Monkey Ball, WTF. I remain your humble servant, James.
I was gonna steal.
Gamers, X-Play is now interactive and in prime time. Join Adam and Morgan for game reviews, live on-screen chat, and video viewer mail. Next, only on G4. G4TV.com. It's a whole new way to stay plugged into your world. The feed keeps you on top of the news you care about most. Dive into the pile. G4's constantly updating collection of over 15,000 streaming videos. Search through thousands of X-Play game reviews and more. Go to G4TV.com. Always fresh, always new.
Hey, welcome back to Attack of the Show. We are live, and this is our Wii special. I got to say, though, Blair, I'm disappointed.
Yeah?
A little bit in the Nintendo fans. No violence.
Yeah, it is weird how the fans in the console war reflect the buzz surrounding the various consoles. For example, the Sony fanboys, totally in your face and aggressive, while the Nintendo fans, they're like Toad and Princess. They're just offering up hugs.
Please, come here. Let me hug you.
And getting kidnapped, but we don't like to talk about that.
No. That's another castle. Right now, though, we've got even more Wii headlines for you. Here's Layla Kaylee with the only news you need to know in the feed.
Ooh.
Thank you, guys. I'm Layla Kaylee, and it's time to start the feed. Nintendo launched at 12:01 a.m. on Sunday, and contrary to the PS3's debut, the day went pretty smooth. Gamers turned out in droves to be the first to own the next-gen console, and it's reported at least 600,000 units were sold. And now, Virtual Console games are available to download, costing $5 to $10. The games have not been revamped, though your progress will be saved automatically if you quit, which you were never able to do before. Also, for more Wii fun, be sure to play around on the photo channel. It's one of the best hidden features on the new console. Though many were lucky enough to get a Wii on Sunday, their luck ran out when they got home. Some buyers were surprised to discover when they booted up their console that they needed a startup disc, which was not included. These were actually retail demo systems that were mistakenly shipped to stores. And some gamers are reporting dead Wiis within minutes of playing. Some just don't work and some won't read discs. Nintendo is aware of the problems and is shipping off replacements this week. And finally, the Wii had a Hollywood premiere last week, and here's my report from the event.
What's up, you guys? I'm on the blue carpet for something most of you waiting in line for. I'm at the Nintendo Wii release party, so get in line, because I got dibs.
You know, I played it. It's a lot of work. It's like better than cardio.
So we're doing something completely different, highly innovative. This remote is an Einstein in here. People can pick it up, and it's a full motion kind of experience.
What kind of games do you guys have in Kazakhstan Sunday?
Killing gypsy children. They're running down, up and down a minefield. I just feel like Nintendo's classic.
Why don't you show me a move?
Right? There you go. Now you act like the fish. You gotta do the fish dance. Here.
I'm not doing the fish dance. That's it. This is how you do it. No fish dance for me. As you can see, the Wii was the biggest star there. Well, that's all for today. You can now get the feed to go on your iPod. Search for the feed in iTunes to subscribe. Now, you've just been fed. Back to you.
Fun fact that you might not know about the Wii, it's actually not even in the manual, which I thought was weird. The nunchuck attachment can be used to actually strangle.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
I guess gaming is getting a whole lot more interactive when you can kill your friends.
Pretty much.
Don't get off that couch. We have lots more ahead on TV's only source for all the stuff you care about.
Everyone knows the name, but not everyone knows what the Wii can do. You'll only know if you're in the loop. And it's sleek, compact, and feels your Wii motion. We're breaking down the Wii on AOTS hardware.
The King's Pain is your gain. Pocket Bike Racer. Rated everyone. $3.99 when you buy any value meal at BK.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show's Wii Special. We're live and talking next-gen Nintendo. Now, earlier in the show, we asked you, is the Wii just a gaming gimmick? Well, according to our text message counting scientists at G4 Laboratories, 83% of you love your newfangled Wii controllers, and you don't think it's a gimmick. So let's go over to a man who's never a gimmick and always the truest professional, Mr. Kevin Pereira.
That was the sweetest thing anybody's ever said to me, and completely false. What a weekend, folks, really. Nintendo's Wii entered the console war with a blaze of fury. They're offering a new gaming experience, but will their innovation last? I mean, are there enough games? And where the hell are all the component cables and nunchucks? I'm sorry. This ain't your daddy's Nintendo. No, it's the loop. Sense of all the Wii mania from Minneapolis. That's what I just said. Game Informer online managing editor Billy Berghammer is here, and from Los Angeles, G4 gaming expert Jeff Keighley. Welcome to the loop, gentlemen. Jeff, I want to start with you, sir. Let's get things going, because I'm thinking just 2 or 3 days ago, all this PlayStation 3 chaos and craziness. I mean, did the mania for the Wii even compare, or did, Fox News just not care because no one got shot?
I think it's a little different. I mean, you and I were both at City Walk on the weekend. I mean, there certainly were a lot of people, but, Nintendo has got a very devoted fanboy base. I think those guys came out in droves for the Wii. But I think, you look at PlayStation, the install base that PS2 had, there's just that many more people to kind of get excited about the next PlayStation. But I think, for the diehard Nintendo fans, this was just as important as the PS3 launch.
Yeah, Billy, it seemed like the excitement was there, and it seemed like there were plenty of fanboys on hand, but was it just the lack of flesh wounds and five-alarm fires that made this seem not as epic?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the one thing for the PS3 launch, a lot of people that were standing in line and waiting for them, they were going to put them on eBay. There was like 20,000 PlayStation 3s on eBay on Friday alone. And a lot of people that bought Wiis were buying them to actually play them. The store that I went to pick up my pre-order, everybody was really excited. Everybody was having a lot of fun. People were talking about what games they were getting. It was really very calm and relaxed. And I think you
just touched on something which is kind of interesting. It's almost newsworthy when someone's buying a product for the intent of actually using said product and enjoying it, which is weird. Now, Jeff, you've seen the Wiimote. You've seen it a couple times. Are you impressed with it here? Do you have fun with it? Is it as amazing as everybody says it is?
Yeah, I think it's fun. I mean, I spent a lot of the weekend playing the Wii, and I think, the Wii, sort of like the PS3 has, a couple good games, a couple really bad games. I think overall...
You think it's a gimmick, Keighley? Come on,
I mean, no, there's an element of gimmick, too. I think some games it works really well for. If the game is really designed for the Wii, then I played something like, Red Steel. I was just sort of horrified at playing that. I'm just like, why can't I just have a PS2 or an Xbox controller to play this game? Because I didn't really feel that the Wiimote added anything to it.
Well, that's like judging the PlayStation 3 based off Gundam, which everybody else would snicker at.
Yeah, no, but I think, overall, I can't imagine, a year from now playing every game with the Wiimote. Like, Zelda is a great game, but I don't know if the Wiimote really makes the game that much better.
All right, Billy, I think it's an interesting point. You've seen the Wiimote and the nunchuck. In fact, you were one of the first to really see it at TGS ages ago. Does it still remain innovative to you, or is Jeff right? A year later, this thing it feels like a gimmick?
Well, I do have to agree with Jeff, on a few things. Some games work really well with it. Zelda I think Zelda is actually really fun. I get really into it. You don't have to do too much motions. It's not like you're, have to wave your arms around like an idiot. You can.
There's
it's
no
very
need to
casual.
crack your
You can
60-inch projection television from across the living room, is what you're saying.
No, I've seen people do that, but it's really not too much action. But if you want to get into it, you can. It's your option. Wii Sports, I think, is probably the best thing to demonstrate the Wiimote and the nunchuck, and it's a really simple, easy way to pick up the controller and actually first, figure out the functionality.
Well, of course, first-party Nintendo
think
games, they work well with it. Obviously, Nintendo knows what they're doing. But, Jeff, what about the third-party support? We saw that pretty much break the GameCube in the past. Do you think Nintendo learned their lesson?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, Red Steel, I said I'm not impressed with that. I mean, Madden is kind of fun, although I'd rather play it on a PS3 or an Xbox 360. The third-party support, a lot of it, skews really young. And I think Red Steel was one game they were talking about is for a more mature audience. That one doesn't work. Then you see, THQ with a bunch of games like that. Trauma Center I'm having a lot of fun with. I like Rayman, Raving Rabbids. There's some good games, but I still think Nintendo has a long way to go in terms of, better third-party support and unique games. Not just ports of other games. I mean, EA is going to bring The Godfather to the Wii, which I'm just not sure is the right fit.
Right. As long as I can pay extra for the Nunchuck add-on, thanks to EA's micropayments, then I'm happy. That's the Godfather experience. Billy, when we're dealing with next-gen games here, it's like people want to be wowed, and when they see the graphics on Gears of War, or they see Resistance Follow Man on the PS3, they do sort of get taken back, especially if they haven't gamed before, and say, wow, these things really look good. Is that a big hurdle for the Wii and getting in that casual gamer experience? Is that a big hurdle, the fact that the graphics are kind of like a GameCube 1.5?
I think yes and no. I mean, well, I guess it depends if you can find component cables.
Right.
Zelda's a great example of how beautiful games can look on Wii, but the funny thing is as Nintendo said, Zelda is only pushing the power of the GameCube. It's not pushing the power of the Wii. And even looking back at certain GameCube games like Resident Evil 4, for example, that game was gorgeous, and Zelda's gorgeous too. If they can go even further than what Zelda's doing, I think, I mean, obviously they're not going to be pushing PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 capabilities around, but
nobody's really expecting that from a $250 console that could, right?
I don't think so.
All right.
I think it's all about gameplay.
You're right. Billy and Jeff, I want to thank you guys for keeping us in the loop here. Interesting stuff. The true test of any successful console is being able to draw in casual gamers, especially with this generation, and of course non-gamers too. So here's a perfect gauge. When my mom starts telling me she wants the Wii, please bring it home for Turkey Day, she's, you've got a hit. She immediately latched onto Guitar Hero. She loves the DS Lite. She gave birth to me. I mean, there's a pattern here. This woman, she picks winners. Keep that in mind. Right now we're going over to another winner, Claire Butler.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm only a winner in my own mind. Still ahead, we break down the nuts and bolts of the Wii in an AOTS hardware exclusive and show you the electronics behind the innovation. Stay with us.
In prime time, join Adam and Morgan for game reviews, live on-screen chat, and video viewer mail. Next, only on G4. G4TV.com. It's a whole new way to stay plugged into your world. The feed keeps you on top of the news you care about most. Dive into the pile. G4's constantly updating collection of over 15,000 streaming videos. Search through thousands of X-Play game reviews and more. Go to G4TV.com. Always fresh, always new.
Welcome back to the live Attack of the Show Wii special. We're TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. And right now we're going over to Kevin and tech expert Will O'Neill, who are ready to dissect the Wii like a frog. It's time for AOTS hardware.
Here it is. Here it is. I like the way you play with it. It's sensitive. Just tickle it a little bit.
Yeah, Kevin's
Wiimote. Rub an ice cube around that.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
This is the Wii. It is the alphabet. Not bad. All right, this is the Wii. Impressive little machine. Lots of hardware for really $250.
It's very cool. And, like, by this point, everyone here at G4 is pretty much well-versed, and we're all totally in love with this machine. But now that it's available to the whole world, everyone's going to fall in love with this guy. It's a very cool device.
All right, so do them a solid. Let's assume they know nothing about the hardware. What are the basics?
A little bit some basics. Basically, it's a small memory system with only 512 megabytes of flash memory. But there is an SD card slot for expansion. But if you're a graphics guy like us, the Wii might not be the best thing for you in the sense that the highest resolution is only 480p. But since the system only comes with composite cables, HDTV guys are going to have to go out and buy the Wii component set in order to get close to high-def picture. But it's also Wi-Fi equipped, but you can network it the old-fashioned way with an Ethernet adapter that interfaces with the USB ports. Very cool.
So, I mean, lots of, again, SD, Wi-Fi. They pack this thing full of good features. But really, isn't it about the Wiimote and the nunchuck? I mean, these are controllers. This hasn't been done with gaming before, really, and not in this capacity. It's totally different.
Yeah, it's really different. And the thing what's great about it, it's basically a point-and-click device. It has accelerometers that sense the direction of the device and even how you're holding it. So if you're holding a sword in your game, you're going to want to hold the Wiimote like a sword. Infrared sensors as well on the sensor bar determine where you are in relation to your television. And you can accessorize and expand the controller with abilities and attachments like nunchucks, the classic controller. There's wheels, a lot of cool stuff that you can buy for it. I know you're very excited about it.
I'm super excited for it. I love that it's, people say, well, the PlayStation 3 controller, that's motion sensitive as well. The PlayStation 3 controller has no idea where the controller is in reference to the television set. And so what I like about this is that you can tell when you're getting in, when you're getting out.
It's a pretty exciting device. I mean, I'm actually going to go out and get one of these myself as well. And I know that you have one. You're going to have a little Wii party tonight.
I'm going to have several Wii parties.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
It ends with the autoerotic neck around the cord around the neck.
Wow, that's disturbing.
It's what we do. It's what we do. Now, what about some accessories? There are some coming out for this thing, right? I mean, people are making add-ons for the Wiimote.
Add-on for the Wiimote. The ENunn shocks. Ubisoft has this steering wheel that goes with the GT Pro series as well. There's a lot of good stuff. There's a speaker for it that goes on it as well.
Yeah, I dig that. It's a tiny little speaker. It's like a cell phone speaker in there, but it adds so much to the game when you're hitting a ball and it sounds like a ball's coming off of your virtual racket. I mean, I dig it.
It's pretty cool.
Are you impressed that they managed to fit all that in there for $250?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty awesome device. And the thing about it, though, like compared to like the PS3 or the 360, those guys are just so like hardware intensive. But this thing, it's like a lot of like the R&D for this guy went in to sort of developing these new ways of like gameplay, which is actually very cool because like, the PS3 is neat and everything, but it doesn't do anything that's necessarily all that new and interesting. And that's where this guy's really cool. I'm really
completely agree, and I think the New York Times agrees with you as well, Will. If
for once in my life.
That scathing article, yes. All right, we're going to have more AOTS hardware coming up tomorrow when Will breaks down your holiday camera options. But right now, we're going to go back to Blair.
Thanks, guys. And you at home, flicking your Wiimote at the screen will not cause me to jump or fly off your television set. We'll have more letters from the front lines when we return on our Wii special. Wii.
Attention all.
Tomorrow.
A letter from James to his wife, Martha, November 17th, 2006.
Dearest Martha, the day we have waited for fast approaches us, yet hope was soured by tragedy at the camp overnight. A portly watchman was completely and utterly pwned by a security guard when he tried to cut in line. What cruel fate, Martha. I suppose one never knows when the time of pwning is upon him, and I fear in our desires for next-gen gaming I too may be pwned. But no, forgive my momentary weakness, love, and dream of my return. You remain ever the heiress to my cloud. Your humble servant, James.
James. Coming up tomorrow, it's TV Tuesday, and Chris Gore will show us the new discs for The Punisher and Old Boy.
And break out the credit cards. We're going to tell you what stores will have the best deals on Black Friday.
Kramer's worst nightmare.
Ooh.
Now, for all the things you saw today and more, go to g4tv.com/AOTS. But don't get up. No, stay right there. We've got another full hour of Wii for you right here on the G4.
Yes, up next, X-Play will have the first reviews of all the Wii launch titles.
And after that, all new Wii episode of Cheats.
Wii! Woo! Wii!
Okay, can I seriously, this has been the toughest show ever. Can I please go play the Wii now?
Yes, go play with your Wii.
Okay, good. Oh, well, okay. And then
Just go,
okay, bye.
go. He's playing with his Wii.